Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on The Braxtons. Okay, so now I had planned on reviewing every episode of this show, but see, the way life is set up. um, that first episode was really rough. Okay, I cried the whole time. I cried the whole episode, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to review that. Let's just start with episode 2. Episode 2 was no better. It took me, I want to say, almost 3 hours to watch the second episode because I had to stop. I cried so much. I was severely triggered. I cried for Tracy. I cried for Trina. I cried for my own mama, for my daddy, for my cousins. When I tell you I had an experience watching that episode, it was not easy. It was not easy on me, baby. I was crying, okay? Like, yeah, it was rough. Yeah, watching these 2 episodes, it was a bit of a challenge for me. I'm not gonna lie. Almost didn't make this video. Because I couldn't stop crying long enough to like process what was actually happening on the show. Like everything. I was a whole mess over here. A mess. I'm really glad that they included Kevin and their dad in the whole therapy situation. Because she was closer to them than her sisters. No shade. But of course she's closest to her child, her husband, her father, and brother because they all lived in Maryland. The sisters are spread out. Tony and Tamar live in LA, and Tawanda and Trina live in Atlanta. She was in Maryland where, you know, her guys, really, her father, her husband, and her son. But I feel like their grief is a little bit more intense. It's a little bit more on the surface because they, you know, they're used to literally getting in a car to go see her. Whereas everyone else is like they get to get on a plane and kind of remove themselves, put a little bit of the distance between the situation and themselves. Her husband, her son, and her father is a little different for them, you know? And I really feel for little Kevin. I feel for him because y'all remember their brother had a daughter that passed away, I think a year or two before Tracy. And the last time we saw Tracy on our screens, she was grieving for her niece. And then it was like to hear what happened. Yo, when I tell y'all the amount of tears that I cried for Tracy, you would think I knew this lady in the flesh. You would think I knew her. Like, this was my auntie. Like, this was someone I knew. Because when I tell you many a tears was shed for Tracy. The last time we seen her on the show, or I wouldn't say the last 2.5 seasons, Tracy was going through it. Y'all remember the Napa Valley trip? That wasn't a good experience. And then the wedding wasn't a good experience. And her niece, she went through a lot. And it's just like, ugh, the whole thing is just devastating. It's heartbreaking. I'm getting emotional right now just talking about it. It was a lot. And for her niece to be super close to her, that was like a daughter to her. That was like a sister to Kevin. So for him to lose his sister, his mom, and now his wife is filing papers on... Child. I don't know, but I hope everybody who loved Tracy and care about Tracy, I hope y'all are remembering her son in your prayers, because that he going through it. And I just really didn't like I didn't like this episode. I didn't like what happened. When Tawanda said she believes someone close to Kevin set him up and called in this warrant right when they knew he would be filming the show. I know we all on the same page here. It was a wife. It was a wife. It was Olivia, right? Like, is it somebody else? I feel like it was her. God forgive me if it wasn't her. I'm sorry, my bad. But I feel like it was her. Like, what's really good with her? Y'all remember when Trina was getting married? Their dad wanted to sing to Trina at the wedding. Now, he didn't get the singing gene, okay? The singing gene comes from their mama's side of the family. So he wasn't doing a great job. So Tracy went up there to support her daddy. And y'all remember it was a whole situation, right? Where Tracy got mad at her sisters because she was told that while she was up there singing with her dad, that her sisters were making fun of her and laughing at her. And then the word on the curb was her daughter-in-law, Olivia, told Tracy, like, oh yeah, your sisters were laughing at you. She caused the whole situation. And if you remember, Tawanda didn't take kindly to that. She was like, Olivia told her that. And it was just kind of like, Tawanda didn't had Olivia number for a while, okay? She's had her good eye on Olivia for some time now. And I just feel like, just like how Kevin said, you were here, you knew my mom, you were around my mom, you promised my mom while she was still alive that you would be there for me. We would go through this together. We would be there for each other. And then for you to just file papers on me right before the anniversary of her death, and then you have the man arrested while he filming. Now I see why Auntie Tawanda didn't like you, girl. Yeah, that was a lot. That was wicked. What's good with her? I don't know. Okay, so when the police showed up to Lil Kevin's house and basically arrested him while he was filming, that was really ugly to do, right? I was a little irritated with Tamar. Now, y'all know I love me some Tamar Esteem Braxton. That is my girl. But sometimes she does too much. Sometimes she does too much. Tamar has a really bad habit of centering herself in everybody's situation and hijacking everyone's situation and making it about her. It wasn't about you in that moment. In that moment, nobody's sitting there as psychic. Just sit there quietly and wait for whatever is going to happen, and you get the information like everybody else. Or let the cameras go down and then you ask all the questions you want to. For her to get upset and start getting short with everybody, see, y'all got too many secrets, that made me feel away. Because it was like, come on, Tamar, not right now. And Trina was telling her, girl, this is not the forum. If he wanted you to know certain things, he would have picked up the phone and called you and told you certain things. I feel like we all, like, sometimes we just got to be appropriate. We just got to do what's right. Certain relationships were not cultivated at a certain time, and now you want it to be what it is. Now you want it to be that, and it's just like, you're gonna have to work on it. You don't just get that automatic, you know? Kevin felt very comfortable talking to Trina and Tawanda and letting them know what's going on with him. If he felt that same level of comfort with Tamar, then Tamar, you would be in the know. It's not up to Trina and Tawanda to fill you in on every single thing. It's just not their place. They can tell you some things, they can't tell you everything. Or else then the boy ain't gonna have nobody to talk to. So it's like, for her to get in her feelings because she didn't know certain things and Tawanda did know some things, yeah, that wasn't okay, Tamar. You was doing too much. So basically what's happening here is Tamar's upset because she's out the loop. We all know that the last time we saw Tracy and them on TV, Tracy and Tawanda had a situation. Clearly, they fixed it before Tracy, passed. And Tawanda did the work to make sure that she was good with her sister. She did the work to make sure she was good with her nephew. Good enough with her nephew that he trusts her with certain secrets and certain information. And he calls her. And out of all the sisters, he feels comfortable talking to her. And Trina as well. Yo, when Trina broke down, I was no good. I was no good. It took me back to being in the hospital room with my mom when she, I felt so bad for Trina. I knew Trina was devastated. Like, when we first got the news that Tracy passed, I thought about Trina first. Because I always felt like Trina was the closest to Tracy. I felt like out of the sisters, they were the two that always were overlooked, right? They were the two that always got, they were the butt of the jokes. They kind of related in that way. So they always were like so sweet to each other. And I always enjoyed, Trina and Tracy's interactions. So it did not even surprise me that she was the one that, said, I'm going to be here for my sister when she, transitions. I thought that was beautiful. Like, she said she wasn't strong enough, but I don't agree. I think you were strong. Not only were you strong for your mother and you strong for Tracy, you were strong enough to step up for your other sisters. You did what they weren't able to do. You stood up for all of them. I thought that, you know, I mean, who would, like, she did for Tracy what Tracy would have done for any of them. And so I think that makes Trina incredibly strong. Yeah, it's hurting and she's going through it and she's dealing with, you know, everything that comes with that. But she was very strong, and I cried so much watching that. I really, really did, because I know what that, I've been there. I have been there. Like, when that happens, it's just like, what? Like, I know what she went through. When Trina was saying how she doesn't sleep at night, she goes to bed like 6 in the morning. She's constantly just trying to feel that. When I tell you I know what she's talking about, I feel for her. I really do. I hope that she's in a better place since filming this, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like, for me, I think she's already in a good place because she's aware of what's happening. She knows what she's going through. Like, she can tell you these things are happening to her. For me, I know after my mom passed, like, I just made myself super busy. I enrolled in cosmetology school. I had 2 jobs. Like, I was just on the go. I did not have time to sit down until COVID. COVID is what sat me down. And then I think I started going through crazy grief, you know, like all over again. Like, that was the first time I had to really sit with myself and be like, dang, I really went through that. That, and all of this other stuff really did happen to me. Like, that was the first time I had to really be alone with my real life and be like, oh my God, I really experienced these things. So when she was saying, like, she didn't sleep and she's just doing this and she's trying to feel herself and she's eating and she's, yeah, it's real. It really is. Okay, so let's get into Tamar and Tawanda, because the tension between the two of them is taking over the entire room. It's just doing the most. I'm glad how Trina, as soon as stuff started to get a little weird, Trina was like, y'all go ahead and take me up out of this. When you call me Tamar, I answer. When you ask me to come through, I come through. So say how you feel to the person you feel the feelings towards. Take me up out of it. And I think that that was important, because for the first time, we really got to see just the 2 of them. They were put on the hot seat and it was just the 2 of them. Because a lot of times they like to lump Tawanda and Trina together, or Tawanda, Trina, and Tracy together, or, you know. And Trina was like, not today. Y'all got y'all stuff, y'all figure it out, which I think was important. What we seeing with Tawanda and Tamar is Tawanda is over Tamar's theatrics and her being spoiled and her not being able to get her way, so she throws tantrums. So she's very cold towards Tamar. And it's almost like, I don't care. I don't care, and I'm not dealing with it. Like, she's not giving no emotion to Tamar, which bothers her. I saw a lot of people say that Tawanda is jealous of Tamar because Tamar was a breakout star from Braxton Family Values. And I think that's somewhat true. I want to say she's jealous. I do think she has a problem with the fact that Tamar was the breakout star, because Tamar became the breakout star at her sister's expense. Tamar has a beautiful voice. We love that voice. Okay, she can sing. But that voice is not what made her a star. That mouth, that personality, the jokes, her reading people, her shading people, that's what made her a star. That's what made her a household name. That's what made everybody fall in love with Tamar, is that she gonna say something silly and goofy, but it was always at her sister's expense. So it's hard for Tawanda and the rest of the sisters. It's like that first season of Braxton Family Values, when Tamar was sitting at the table and was like, you got a cheater. You got a man that can't keep a job. You got a man that want to live off of you. You got a computer whiz. And what I'm trying to tell you is this man right here is totally different. Everybody remembers that scene. When they were in therapy And Tawanda was talking about her separation from Andre. And Tamar was making, you know, remarks and saying stuff. And Tawanda was like, girl, stop. And she wouldn't stop. That is what made Tamar like, oh my God, this girl is hilarious. We love her. Keep giving us this raw energy. But it was at her sister's expense. You sat up there. She sat up there and everything she said, a lot of it was on point, but it was brutal. Who wants to be embarrassed on TV? Who wants to be shamed in front of the entire world? Nobody. And when Tamar was going through her divorce, when it was really her turn for her sisters to kind of be like, girl, I thought he was totally different, girl. I thought that man right there was totally different. What did Tamar do? She ran. She wouldn't let y'all film her. She wouldn't let y'all be around. I remember Tracy flew into town to go see her, went to the Real to go see her. Tamar drove right past Tracy like she didn't know her. You took that opportunity away from your sisters to give it back to you. Which, I mean, you can deal with, well, you could deal with whatever you could deal with. It's really nice that she's saying how I have boundaries, I have boundaries, I have boundaries. But in the past, you didn't respect your sister's boundaries. When they put up boundaries with you, you didn't respect them. You tap dance all over them, making jokes and saying all types of stuff. When Trina was renewing her vows to Gabe, her and Vince and all of them sat up there being so obnoxious, laughing throughout the whole ceremony. I mean, the things that Tamar has done on this show, very entertaining, but at her sister's expense. I can understand why it's rough for Tawanda to accept that Tamar is the star, because Tamar became the star singing, daddy, 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 daddy. Like, all the shenanigans were at her sister's expense. So Tawanda's like, girl, bye. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I'm over it. You can do us, but we can't do you back. And I'm not with it. And she said this years ago. She said how she felt years ago. We have seen all of the evidence is out there. It's on the show. Pull it up. Now, Tawanda ain't innocent now, okay? She not innocent. And I think Tamar's issue with Tawanda is Tawanda does just about the same foolishness that Tamar does. All the stunts that Tamar pulls, Tawanda does too. But Tawanda's a little bit more in the pocket with it. She has a little bit more finesse. She does all the same shit that Tamar does, but she knows not to take it too far. See, Tamar don't know that. She hasn't mastered that. Tawanda knows how to push, 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 but she lets off. She knows how to reel it back in. Tamar does not. I don't even know if that's, I'm not even sure if it's that Tamar doesn't know when to stop or she just doesn't care to stop. You can tell her you don't like her doing something, she's still going to do it. And that's the problem with Tamar. That's the difference between Tamar and Tawanda. I think with Tamar, she's looking at it like, well, Tawanda does the same stuff, but y'all never hold her to the same standard that you guys hold me. Yeah, because she doesn't do it the way you do it. And I think the difference with Tawanda is after Tawanda offends her sisters, off camera, she will go and reconcile. She'll go and fix things. She will repair the issue. She will do whatever she needs to do to smooth things over. Tamar don't want to do that. Tamar don't be wanting to do none of that. She be wanting to be like, well, I'm just being me. I'm just saying the truth. I mean, I ain't lying. Tawanda is a little bit more mature with it. Tamar is like, I did it and what? And so guess what? You're going to get that energy back. So I think a lot of times Tamar's issue right now is kind of like, Tawanda, you offended Tracy, but her son still feels comfortable coming to tell you what's going on between, you know, him and his wife. Why he couldn't tell me? Why you didn't tell me? Why is it that Tawanda gets away with doing all the things that I do, but I'm always held to the fire? Because you take it too far. That's what it looked like to me. I really think Tamar is tired of looking like the bad guy when Tawanda does some of the same stuff that she does. And I understand that. But then it's like, what are you trying to accomplish? Because if you do something and your one sister says, hey, I don't like that you did that. Instead of you just saying, okay, I'm not going to do it. It's like, well, Tawanda does it. Well, this person does it, and it's like, well, what are you trying to accomplish? You want to be able to act poorly and nobody say nothing to you. I don't know if y'all remember, but there's a lot of clips circulating with not Tawanda. There are a lot of clips circulating with Trina and Tamar going back and forth. Trina will be sitting there minding her business, and Tamar will say something rude that'll trigger Trina, and Trina will read her for filth. And then Tamar would be like, oh no, and she started cussing and getting upset. But it's like, you started with her. You started with her, and then when she responds, you don't like it. Whereas with Tawanda can dish it, but she can take it. Tamar can't take it. And that's usually why there always is an issue. Because there have been many times where, like, Trina will say something slick to Tracy, or Tracy will say something to Tawanda, or Tawanda will say something to Trina. But if you say something to Tamar, she gets upset. She starts cussing. She wants to leave the scene. And it's like, if you're too sensitive to take it, then don't dish it. I think it's simple. If your sisters say, hey, I don't like that you did something, then just don't do it. I remember there was a scene where I think they were on vacation, and it wasn't Tawanda. Tamar was talking to their mom about Tracy's music, because I think she was accusing Tracy of using auto-tune, or it didn't sound good, or whatever. She wanted to give her feedback. And basically the mom was trying to tell her, girl, if she don't want your feedback, don't give her your feedback. But if I know something, if I'm an expert at something and I have good insight, why don't she want to hear what I have to say? Because she doesn't want it. And that's the problem with Tamar. She wants things to be her way. And when they don't see it her way, I feel like Tamar surrounds herself with people that are yes men, that'll tell her she's not wrong. But if you're hurting someone, no matter if you think you're right or wrong, you're wrong. If you're hurting someone that you love, you're wrong. It's just that simple. Her mom had to tell her, like, so many different ways. If she doesn't want your opinion, don't give her your opinion. Just leave her alone. I could say that sometimes you can take criticism from certain people and can't take it from others. Like with me, my mom would criticize my hair. She'll talk about my weight. She'll talk about my outfit. She'll talk about whatever. Never bothered me. But for some reason, if my daddy did it, I would just crumble. My dad talked about my grades. Oh, I would crumble. He talked about, ooh, you're putting on weight. I would crumble. If he said he didn't like my earrings were too big, I never want to hear that man say nothing critical about me. And it's not that I didn't love my daddy. I got along great with my dad. But I just didn't want to hear his, like, criticism. My mom's critique. And my mom sometimes, she maybe I just didn't take my mom seriously. I don't know. But I could take it from her. I couldn't take it from him. I just could not. My dad said something to me. I was, oh, why you say that? Like, I could not bear to hear my dad say anything critical about me. I just did not like it. I'd just be like, why you say that? My mom, I'll be like, girl, bye. I don't know. It's just like, it is what it is. And it's just like, for some reason, maybe Tamar, it's not even for some reason. We saw the reason. When Tamar would insult her sisters, she would, like, do a little dance to it, do a little jig. She just did too much. She did too much. And she just never wanted to accept it. Like, girl, stop. Just stop. Just don't do that. And then when you have offended them, go and talk to them and figure out why they were offended, and so that you don't do it no more. But with her, it's like, she's not going to stop the behavior. She's just going to find another angle to do what she wanted to do in the first place. That's why you're always having issues with your sisters. I'm not saying that Tawanda ain't a problem, but you're a bigger problem. You're a bigger problem because you don't know when to stop. How many different times did Trina have to eat you up and you wouldn't stop? You wouldn't stop. And I think she just be feeling attacked. She feels ganged up on. Like, we all know the scene where Tracy was like, girl, what you gonna do? Like, she got close to her. Y'all remember the scene? It was like, Tracy tried to jump on me. That's not quite how we remember it, but okay, Tamar, girl. It's just, I just want somebody who really loves Tamar in her, like, maybe in her friend group, to tell her the real truth, to tell her the tea, girl. It's not that you a bad person, but sometimes you just do too much. You don't know how to reel it in. She never learned treat people how you want to be treated. For whatever reason, that just does not, she just don't, it don't penetrate. It just doesn't. Y'all remember when they was supposed to be recording the family album? And she basically, Trina was feeling herself. She was looking good. She was happy. She was in a good place with Gabe. And she told her, girl, you need some liposuction. And so Trina was like, okay, so what was it like when you had yours? And Tamar became undone. But it was like, you know that Trina reads down. She don't do all the theatrics that you do, but Trina reads down. She eats. You should have left her alone. She wouldn't have had to eat you up. Tamar started cussing. She got all upset, but it was like you poked the bear first, and then you were upset when the bear bit you. You got upset when you got mauled. You tried it. I don't know. I want there to be some type of resolve. Okay, I'm not gonna watch another couple of seasons of them fighting because that's not what we enjoy when it comes to Braxton family. Like, I want to see them getting along. I want to see them honoring Tracy, not them fighting over dumb stuff. When Miss E went off on them, is what they deserved. Because it was like, even though Tawanda wasn't yelling and shouting, Tawanda was standing her ground. But it was like, I don't know. I just don't like, I just want them to have some resolve, okay? I probably shouldn't be talking. I probably shouldn't be talking because, you know, I got my own family issues. But I just want to see them fix it. Like, just fix it, Jesus. But yeah, I just want there to be some resolve. I want some fun to be had. I want to see them do something better. I hope that, I mean, like, damn, channel your energy into helping little Kevin, okay? He needs it, okay? He done lost his sister cousin. He done lost his mama. From what they said in the first episode, that he's not doing so great with his dad. Like, y'all energy could be put to better use. Y'all don't need to be fighting. And it's not like y'all fighting because y'all grieving. Y'all fighting because y'all been fighting. And over what? Over nothing. Over nothing. I think Tawanda, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's so much more that can be said. I guess I can save it for the next video because this video getting a little too long. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.